If you're constantly feeling a lack of confidence about your abilities, doubting yourself, feeling like you don't deserve your job, and that you were just lucky despite having a good track record of performance, then you're likely suffering from imposter syndrome.
Hi, I'm Shadé Zahrai, and I help professionals to hack their careers, overcome their limiting beliefs, and confidently create the extraordinary life they deserve.
Now, research describes it as a persistent belief that you don't deserve your success, and that your achievements were a result of others' luck or timing. Now, it's important to recognize that this is a fear not based on logic. You don't take ownership of your achievements. And the scary thing about imposter syndrome is that once it takes over, it robs you of your personal power and your amazing potential. So you end up holding yourself back. You develop a really strong fear of failure, or you push yourself so hard to avoid being found out that you end up burning out. And it's a horrible self-imposed trap of the mind that robs you and the world of your true abilities and your sense of fulfillment. So how can you overcome the imposter syndrome trap? Well, here are my top 5 research-backed tips. Number 1, you want to recognize this imposter syndrome inner chatter in your mind. Don't try to fight it, and instead, figure out what might be causing the self-doubt in the first place. Just because you're less experienced than someone else doesn't mean you're not capable. It just means that you haven't yet learned what you need to, but you can. Number 2, instead of worrying about all the things that you're not, shift your focus by asking yourself questions like, how can I be of service to others right now? And what can I do consistently to improve little by little, day by day? When you consciously shift your inner chatter from obsessing over the self, and instead ask how you can do good and be better, your mind starts to forget about all of your limitations, and this can take a lot of pressure off. Number 3, most people with imposter syndrome suffer in silence. So build up the courage to open up about how you feel. You might find that sharing your struggles with others can help to destigmatize how you feel, and it might even expose the fact that you're not alone. Many people feel like imposters. Number 4, okay, this one might be a little difficult to do, but I want you to practice being aware of how you feel and how you respond to people when you spend time with them, and even those that you follow on social media. You might feel empowered and inspired around certain people, which is great, but watch out for the people that say or do things that actually undermine your confidence and your credibility. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. You just need to consciously minimize or avoid contact while you're still in a vulnerable state. And number 5, this last tip is to get into the habit of building your self-belief. Set mini challenges for yourself on a daily basis in a checklist. It doesn't even matter how trivial they are. Even asking a question at your next virtual team meeting or practicing a certain skill for 10 minutes a day. Then, at the end of each day, make time to reflect on how you did and to celebrate your wins. This trains you to recognize your ability to grow and to trust in yourself. I went through my own imposter syndrome phase early in my career as a law graduate working at a top-tier law firm. I used to obsess over how I was inadequate and how everyone else was smarter and more capable than me. I managed to convince myself that I didn't belong at the firm, even though I graduated with first-class honors. The constant anxiety was draining, and I went through years of misery. Now, back then, I didn't even know that imposter syndrome was a thing. But everything changed when I confided in a mentor, and she told me something that I will never forget. She said, "Shadé, we didn't hire you for what you can't do. We hired you for what you can do." And that sentence changed my perspective completely and put me on a very different path. It took some work, but soon after, my career confidence and my sense of fulfillment absolutely transformed. I've come across too many qualified, capable, and talented people who are completely held back by their imposter syndrome, and it keeps them trapped, unhappy, insecure, burnt out, and robs them of the joy of living to their higher potential. Some of them have been working for decades and living with it. So hopefully this has helped open your mind to try a different approach, because the greater tragedy is to acknowledge that there is an imposter and to still live with it. Each one of us is like a mine full of gems of inestimable value. No matter who you are or at what stage you are in your life, you still have a unique mix of qualities, talents, and experience that make up your capacity and your potential. You have something valuable to offer. Never forget that.